Hi everyone, welcome back to the McMahon Group. You know, with what happened last night, finding out that bin Laden had been killed, I found out personally on Facebook, and it really made me think the power of social media these days. Gelie Ackenblit, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Networking Phoenix. You are the CEO and founder.
Yes.
Where were you last night when you found out that bin Laden had been killed?
I was at dinner and I found out on Facebook. And at first I wasn't sure if it was real. And so I just went through my news feed and about 10 people had said the same thing. And I'm like, it has to be real. It's a news feed on Facebook.
So social media is so powerful now. I think a lot of people weren't really believers. After last night, we know things spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
How does that work in networking?
Same way. Things just go viral, and when you post something on Facebook, all your friends see it in their news feed, and if they repost it, then it goes to their news feed. And I think it's actually a very difficult thing to wrap our minds around. But there's just no hiding on Facebook, even with all their privacy settings. I mean, if you're on Facebook, anyone can find out.
So you and I are sitting here having a conversation about politics, about what's going on in the world. Is this what networking looks like?
It really could, and the thing is, when you're networking, one of the most important things is about being relevant. And, I mean, you probably didn't know we were going to have this conversation last night, but when this happened, here we are having this conversation, we're being relevant. And so we have a topic to talk about, and that's really what networking is, because whether you are at a line in Starbucks or you are at a networking event, you're going to be talking to people, and, what are you going to talk about? Well, you're going to talk about things that are happening in the world. That's one of the best things to talk about.
Yeah, because when you think about networking and going into these big events, you don't want to boast about your services or what you're offering or become boring to someone else. So creating a platform to start a conversation would get that relationship going.
Exactly. And what you're doing is you're looking for things in common. So for instance, before I came here tonight, earlier in the day, I went to your Facebook page and I said, I was like, well, let's see what Angela's up to. And I noticed one of the latest posts you had was a run that you did, and you found a new application for it.
Right.
Well, I run too. And I was really interested in this application, so I explored it further, but the thing is I didn't know this about you. I went to Facebook, I looked it up, and that's something I was going to bring up as a great example of when you're meeting people. You're looking for things in common that have nothing to do with work, right? Because you were like, oh wow, she went to my Facebook and she knows I run. But it makes it more interesting and it makes it more exciting. And when you're meeting somebody new for the first time, they're going to be more interested in pursuing the conversation with you.
And when I went to your network and your website for Networking Phoenix, you have a huge calendar that has every single event listed on there. I mean, there are so many out there.
Yes.
And what I started to think was, how do you choose which event to attend?
Okay, that is a great question. So one of the things you want to look for is groups that you have something, people that you'll have things in common with. So for instance, let's say you're a mommy and you're an entrepreneur. They have groups for mommies that are entrepreneurs. Maybe you're a baby boomer and you're looking for baby boomer groups. They have those as well. And one of the great things about our site is if you fill out your profile, and this is all free by the way, you fill out your profile, we have a little button that says personalized event suggestions, and when you click on it, it runs all the information that you gave us, keywords, your demographics, where you live, and it's actually going to suggest events for you.
So it offers suggestions on certain events that might fit your profile.
Exactly.
Great way. A lot of people say, networking isn't really working for me. And I've even been to events as well where I go, I'm really excited, I leave full of energy. I met so many great people. I have 15 cards. And I'm not the most organized person, so I get home and I have these cards and I don't know where they go or I find them, What's the best way to organize my cards when I get home?
Well, what I typically do is, let's say I went to an event and I met 15 people. That doesn't mean that I had the greatest, most intense connection with those 15 people. There's typically one or two that I was really impressed with. Impressed might be the wrong word, but had that deep connection. And so those are typically the first people I'm going to follow up with. And I try to make it a habit to follow up with them that same evening as I get home, because otherwise, same thing, I'm going to put it on my desk. I have every intention of doing it the following morning, but I wake up and something else is going to pull my attention away. And I have my own way of organizing cards. I scan them into my computer, but the follow-up is key, and I think that's something that you alluded to. If you don't follow up, nothing will happen.
It's like dating. If no one makes the first move or no one follows up, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always make sure you follow up immediately.
Yeah. You actually have 72 hours. So about 3 days. That's your window, because after that, you fade out of people's minds.
And you have a signature event coming up
Yes.
May 9th. Tell us about that.
Yes, so this is the most popular networking event in Phoenix. We attract about anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 people. We do it 4 times a year, and it's a big mix and mingle. So you show up, and you're going to walk around the room and talk to people, and things that you have in common with, right? What we talked about earlier. So you're going to ask open-ended questions. You're going to talk about yourself. You're going to ask people about their business. It's very casual. It's free, and it's Monday, May 9th.
So networking, you don't necessarily bring a resume. You're not out there trying to get a job or get someone to hire you per se. You're trying to grow your business.
Correct. Well, you're trying to grow your network.
Grow your network.
Right, because you might be there looking for a job, but the thing is, you're not going to show up to a networking event with your resume. That's a big faux pas, number one.
Okay.
But you will show up, and your goal is to meet people that might know somebody who might know somebody who might know somebody, right? And so you're asking open-ended questions to kind of dig through people's networks and find out who might be able to help you. And the thing is, not just help you, but you want to help people too. So as you're asking people open-ended questions, you might know how you can help them and be a resource for them.
Right. Thank you so much. It sounds like a great event. I know it's growing every year. It continues to grow. So thanks for sharing this great information with us. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be right back after the break talking about lap band surgery.